So you join us today at a new venue. We're at Mousehole Fishery in Yalding. It's a lake that we started doing a little bit of fishing and stocking here about 6 weeks ago. We've actually done quite a bit of fishing on Kestrel. We're actually on Kingfisher, which is the bigger of the two. Some say it's a little bit harder. We've done a little bit of fishing here between us as a team. We've had a few fish, but not as good as the catches that we've had on Kestrel. But we're here for a 36-hour session. I've got a guest with me today, a fellow team member, Chas. So we're going to do a little bit on him and his approach. He's doing something completely different to what I'm doing as well, so we'll go into that in more detail as the video goes on. So we're in the swim now, bivvy set up, ready to get the rods out shortly. So a little bit about the swim that I'm in. So we're on Kingfisher Lake. For those that know here at Mousehole here, I'm in peg 7, which is right at the bottom end in the corner, so I command quite a lot of water there. A few people, the bailiffs, a few fishermen that have fished here recently have told me a few spots. We've managed to get the bait boat out with the Echo Sounder, found a few other spots that we'd like to explore, and we've had a lead about on a few spots. It's a clay bottom lake, average depth probably about 6 foot, with a couple of marginal shelves and 3-foot shelves on the island. Now I have fished here previously, I've done an overnight before. I managed to get 2 bites in the night, which were on tight to the island on the shelf. However, since then, 2 swans have moved onto the lake and they are really pestering every fisherman here and mopping up all the bait, so not sure that's going to do a bite in this session. So moving on to the rods. Left rod, decided to go with a 15mm ocean through wafter. That's fished over to the island. We will try the shelf before the swans move in and probably mop up all the bait. Not a lot of freebies, I'm taking it a bit steady for now, just trying to fish for a bite at a time, see what happens. That's on the Ronnie rig. The middle rod, this one's a bit of a roving rod, so we're going to move it around. It's in open water at the moment. We've got a new test bait that I'm putting to the test over this weekend. We haven't decided on an exact spot, so we're going to move that around every hour or two. If something works, we'll come back to that and talk a little bit more in detail. The right hand rod, this is down in a little quiet bay. It's got a little fountain that trickles into the corner, so plenty of oxygen coming in, and it's known for big fish in this bay. And that one's on a double 18mm ulnar. Doesn't sound much for an autumn or a winter sort of bait. This time of year you normally use a double 18, but I'm going to give it a go. Bigger baits, bigger fish, we'll see what happens with that. So my baiting approach on the rods today, with bait boat, I'm able to easily get some particle out there, so I've made a bit of a mix. We're still using all 3 boilie ranges, whole boilies and chop boilies. So we've got the ocean through, the ulnar and the red lobster. That's the key ingredient to any of my bucket mixes that I do. With that, we've added the normal particle mix, which is hemp, corn and maize. With that, I've added a few other ingredients. So we've got maple peas and tiger nuts. Now, tiger nuts are not normally allowed to use on the lake, but because they're pre-prepared, they're absolutely fine. They've okayed it on the fishery for us to use those. So in there, we've got an ingredient that we're working on. We're trying to work on another liquid to add to our glug range. So we've added that into there, and we'll see if that adds any dimension to what we're doing. Or encourage any more bites. So we're all set, all the rods are out now, and we're a couple of hours into our 36-hour stint. We've managed to do a few other bits, a few other product shots and stuff from here, but we're really excited about this session, and we really hope that we can show some of the fish that roam around in this lake. Last week I know a 41 come out of my swim. It was a big common, I've seen the pictures of it. It was an amazing fish. I pretty much doubt it won't come out this session because it's been out recently. But a 33 mirror came out opposite me last week as well. But I also know the head of fish in here. I've been told that there's quite a big head of 30s, 3 known 40s, and a couple of big grass carp. Really want to get into this session, maybe a few more sessions down here on video as well, just to see if we can get to those bigger fish. So let's see how we go.
Swim I've chosen, it's got a few features. I've got an island to the left, an island to the right. I've got a margin line where I've chosen to put my left hand rod. It's about 6 foot in depth all the way through, so features wise it's pretty flat. I've got my left left-hand rod down on the left-hand margin here, just with a little multi-rig using a bottom bait ocean fruit topped off with a 12mm ocean fruit pop-up. On the right-hand rod, I've got it over to the island. There's a little hole in the reed line. Pretty much just catapulted a few boilies out there and a solid bag over the top of it using the ocean fruit stick mix with the 2mm pellet, just in a solid bag. Bait I chosen for that one is the red lobster dumbbell wafter. Complements the bag because they're quite small as well, and they're critically balanced, so I don't like them popping up too far, but just nestled nicely inside the bag. Right, so I'm confident in my approach so far. I'll make some changes later if nothing happens, so I'm probably going to give it 2-3 hours. If nothing produces, I might make some changes. I might change the hook bait, or might even change the location yet. If I see anything show, then that will dictate where what I do next pretty much. So yeah, watch this space.
We waited quite a long time today to see any action. We did manage to see one mirror. Was it a mirror?
No, it was a common.
It was a common. I didn't really see it,
yeah.
but we saw it roll once, then twice on the island spot. So we quickly took the middle rod, which is the roving rod, and we got it out there with a bait boat with a little bit of bait. Had loads of indications on it, little liners. Thought the spot was dead, and we just had a mini run on it, which ended up being nothing. So that's about as good as the action's got today.
Not too sure what it was, but something, whatever it was, yeah.
So we've reset it, put it back out, got more bait on the spot, and see if we can try and nick a bite now before it gets dark. So, and as for Chas, what's happened in your spot?
Absolutely not even a liner. I had one liner earlier, and that was pretty much it. Since then, nothing. I've recast, but yeah, still waiting, but I just don't think I'm on the fish at the moment. But being a day ticket water, we can't just go and find them. You're allocated swims, so just got to make the best of a bad situation.
Also, touching on that, I mean, there's quite a lot of pressure on this lake this weekend.
Fully booked, yeah.
There's a social opposite us, there's a social to the left of us. Lots of lines in the water. We've tried doing something different with back lead, slack lines, but it hasn't really paid off. I think one fish has come out today, I believe.
Yeah, one fish.
On the whole lake. So
the other end of the lake, yeah.
Other end of the lake, which I believe is a little bit shallow. We're in the deeper end, about 6 foot of water. So I don't know. We've still got a little bit of time before it gets dark. We can reset the rods, get ready for a night bite, or try something different for the night bite.
Yeah, I think if it's going to happen, it's going to be tonight. Yeah, hopefully the fish move down. Yeah, hopefully we can get lucky.
So we're moving into the last morning. Thought we'd have a quick catch up on all the action, or lack of action, that we've had. Last night, we felt quite confident. We saw some fish rolling around, sort of chased them around a little bit. Caster was showing fish. Had a few line bites from that through the night, but nothing really happened again. So, to be fair, the whole lake, speaking to other anglers this morning, I don't think it's done many bites. One bite overnight was down the other end in the shallow end. He's had a few fish over the weekend, but no one else really has. So, I'm not sure we're doing anything right or wrong. I just don't think they're biting or feeding. So, we're into the last day, like I say, so probably got about 6 or 7 hours to see if we can nick a bite. Made a few changes myself to see if it works. Some different hook baits, but we'll see what happens. But what about you, Chas? What have you?
So pretty much same story with me. The only difference is I've had no liners whatsoever. I've changed positions. I've come out of the margin swim. I was on the left hand side. I've come out of there entirely now. I've switched over to a zig on my third rod. 6 foot of water in front of me, so I've gone 3 foot halfway. We're not seeing them show on top. And I'm kind of switching to winter tactics on my other rods. I've got 2 Ronnie rigs out now. One's on the far island on the left with a bright yellow ocean fruit pop-up, and the other one is on pretty much the same, just halfway across. See if I can nick a bite that way, but I'm scratching around there, so yeah, hopefully something produces.
Pretty much are. I mean, everyone says that Peg 7 that I'm in is a bit of a flyer. It's done a few big fish in recent weeks, so I was quite confident. I've had a few fish myself in that swim, so I was hoping I'd nick something. The only difference is the spot that I've had a few fish from in previous session, the swans are absolutely wiping it out. So I find it hard to keep a hook bait on there. So, but we've come shorter, mid-water. There's a lot of fizzing and bubbling around. Whether it's carp nestling around for bait, we don't know, but it's the only signs that we can go on at the moment. So if anything else happens, we'll keep you updated. And that's it, the end of the 36-hour session at Mousehole. Hasn't exactly been riveting. Chased fish around a little bit, changed everything, done everything we possibly could to get a bite, but it just hasn't happened. Time has run out, and that is it.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that, Chazzy?
Yeah, pretty much. We tried absolutely everything to try and make it happen, but yeah, nothing we tried seems to result in anything. I think I've had 2 liners since I've been here. Yeah, no more than that. We've had a few, but nothing resulting in any fish, unfortunately. No.
Chased the liners. We used the line to try and find fish, but literally, the more we chased them back, the more liners we seem to get. So yeah, we're just chasing shadows at the moment. So, but still had a good weekend. The weather held off. The complex is still something that we're just trying to work out in terms of fishing. We do stock our bait here now, so you'll be seeing us a lot more on the bank here. We've got another video due to do at the end of November, but that'll be on the other lake, Kestrel, and we'll have a few more team members join us for that. But for now, with Kingfisher, we're going to leave it there.
That is a bit of luxury on the bank.
Luxury, nom nom nom. Okay.
Yeah.
I was at I went to drop bait off Fuller, and they caught PB, and they wanted me in the photo, and he only had a large, so I slipped that on. Right, you're rolling, aren't you?
Oh yeah, of course I'm rolling.
Welcome to Kids Corner with Joff and Chas. Right, sorry, what were we saying?
So I want to know what's been happening so far.
Well, this will be short and sweet.
Yeah.
So there were some bright white lights came in and ruined the shot.
That was my personality.
Dealt it. That's dark. You're filming again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Every time. Just one for you later, James. This is childish fishing with Joff and Chas again. Highlighted fishing trip. Breakfast.
Lack of fishing, lack of carp, you would say.
But the hospitality, wow.
I'm not actually sure it's any fish here though. There's fish here, definitely. Definitely fish here.
I don't think there is. I reckon there's a tunnel that goes through to the other lake. They just let a couple out every day.
I think they probably go through the tunnel, end up in the other lake, and then Carl catches them. Just waits for them to appear.
To be fair, I normally sleep all the way through, and I just wake up to see all of these retainers in the water. So I don't even know if they come from this fishery.
Yeah.
We did. We did. Getting bored.
Little bit. There's definitely fish in here. They're definitely here. I've caught a few before. They're definitely here. It's just proving hard this session. I'm going to blame Chas. Chas brought his back up. Come on, you've got to pull one out back here.
Boys, I don't think you really get like a fizz as such because they're not grubbing around, are they?
No, they just sort of like
picking them
grab.
up.
Unless they're in Rick's Silty.
Yeah.
But I think
That's
when
an interim.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point. Yeah, that's probably right. I reckon they go down, and as they create that vacuum to suck the boilie up, I reckon they displace some of the silt, and that releases some air out.
That's the confidence booster that I'm telling myself.